Let's fucking go.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review HBO Max, or is it HBO Discovery? Or is it just whatever? It's HBO at the end of the day. The Penguin. Now, the Penguin is a spinoff to the Batman, Matt Reed's The Batman movie that came out a few years ago. Now, that character in particular Colin Farrell's version of this Penguin character was in a movie of great performances, because there was a lot of great. I have issues with the Batman movie, but not one of them is Colin Farrell as the Penguin. From the makeup that they did, like, Colin Farrell disappeared inside of this character to the point where if you didn't know it was him, you wouldn't know it was him. From the voice to his mannerisms to the way he plays the Penguin, it's a little bit of New Yorkie. It's a little bit. There's a little bit of streetness to him, like old school mobster, a little bit to his accent, to the way that he carries himself. So, to a certain extent, his version of the Penguin is a throwback to the classic Penguin, to a certain extent, but a lot more dirt on him, a little bit more street level, a little bit more realistic, because Matt Reeves' approach was a more realistic approach to Batman. Probably the most realistic approach to Batman that's really been put to film. So there was obviously a more realistic approach to the Penguin. In the Batman, the Penguin was just one of Falcone's, like, basically lieutenants. He was running the club, but it wasn't his club. It was an interesting thing. He was like the club, he was just a lieutenant in the Falcone family. He wasn't a big time dude. He wasn't small, but he wasn't big. You know, he's just right in this interesting spot where he has room to grow in the family. But as we know, at the end of the Batman took down the Falcone family. Well, at least the head, the Falcones. There was a mix-up. The Riddler's whole fucking plan to flood the city happened. So this takes place shortly after that. After the Riddler flooded the city, after the Falcones have been taken down, after all of that, what we're left with is a criminal world in Gotham that is in flux. It's up for grabs. It really is up for grabs, because as we learned, we kind of learned in the Batman as well, the Falcones really owned Gotham. They were the crime family in Gotham. And typically, Batman's first, outing as Batman, people forget this very often. He started off fighting the Falcones and mobsters. Like, that was his kick off the bat. Before you got the Riddler, before you got the Penguin, before you got the Joker, before you got Mr. Freeze, before even Catwoman ever appeared in Gotham, he was fighting the mob. He was fighting the mob, and, he was getting better at this shit. But those were his first people he went after. He took down those families. Now, he didn't take down all of those families, like, full stop. But for the most part, by the time, some of the more super villainous characters start getting around, Batman's pretty much taking care of all the mob-like characters in Gotham. But, so this show, essentially, if you look at the description, is about the Penguin coming to power. And we all know the Penguin, the Iceberg Lounge, the umbrella, weaponry, the awkward walk, the pointy nose. Like, we all know the identifying factors of the Penguin. And at the end of the Batman, they teased something with the Penguin. At least they teased that, like, everything was up in the air and new people will emerge or whatnot. So the Penguin becoming the boss and taking over the crime, the criminal world in Gotham isn't new. That's something that's been done in many, many comics and many, many things. The thing that this show has that's unique and that's really working in its favor is this is the journey of the Penguin becoming the Penguin. And I've even heard some people talk about the whole Oz Cobb thing. Now, initially when I heard he only goes by Oz Cobb, or they're just calling him Oz Cobb, I kind of had a problem with that. I'm like, even Superwise Agreement, bro, what's wrong with Oswald Cobblepot? Who gives a fuck? Like, why? Why not? Why can't he be Cobblepot? Why not? Like, and that like bothered me a little bit, but after watching episode 1, I see where they're going with this, and I get a feeling where it's gonna end. So, like, there are many different renditions of the Penguin. Some versions of the Penguin, his family were rich. Some versions of the Penguin, his family came from money. Some versions of the Penguin, he's an international criminal from, like, England. Or, you know, so, like, there's so many different versions of the Penguin. The most recent version of the Penguin that we got was in Batman, Caped Crusader, when the Penguin was, gender swapped as a woman. Like, there's been a lot of versions of the Penguins over the years, but Colin Farrell's Penguin is the most grounded, it's the most realistic, it's the most relatable version of the Penguin. So the greatest thing this show, episode 1 of this show did was humanize the Penguin. Not to say that he wasn't kind of humanizing in the first movie, because he was, but he was like, but they kind of treated him in The Batman like, oh, it's the Penguin, and he was kind of just like a background character. He was like a like, some of my problems I had with The Batman actually was none of the performances or even some of the things they were doing. I just think they just had too much shit in that movie. They just had so much shit going on in that movie. And I remember at the time when I reviewed it, I said that they probably could have cut the entire Catwoman plotline out and the movie would have stayed the exact same. But I digress. So you didn't really get to see too much of him in The Batman. So you got a vibe for him, but not like this. This show, especially episode 1, really does a great job of showing the Penguin as a human being. Showing that, you know, because, and I know I made the joke about The Sopranos, but it really is taking a Sopranos approach to it. Because like The Sopranos was such a great show because before The Sopranos, mobsters were kind of, or the mobster life was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fantasized, over dramatized, or whatever. When in truth, yeah, these are people who do horrible things. These are people who have done horrible things. But these are people who have families. These are people who have people they love. These are people who have interests outside of this shit. These are people who like just eating sandwiches at a shop down the road. These are people who get excited about a car freshener. Like The Sopranos was the first show to really, like, kind of pull back on the over-the-topness of the mobsters and be like, they're people too. They're not made out of stone. They have opinions. They have feelings on what they're doing. Sometimes they're not. They're just willing to pull the trigger. You know what I mean? And they did the same thing here with Oz Cobb in this show. You get to see a more human side of him with his interactions with this kid he meets, who he pretty much just takes under his wing, and his interactions with this kid, and him talking about this air freshener, and him talking about the pickles on a sandwich, from him talking about the slushies. Like, you get a vibe, you meet his mom, you get a great vibe for him as a human being. That there's more to him than what he is. There's more to him than what he does, for the sake of argument, for the sake of just keeping it short there. Oops, sorry. Whew, thought I was going to sneeze for a second there. But there's more to him than just the villain. There's more to him than just an umbrella penguin from the comics or from the video games. He's a completely fully functioning, human being. And I love that they really did that. So that was great. Obviously, Colin Farrell is once again killing it as Oswald Cobblepot. Honestly, God, once again, if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't even know it was Colin Farrell underneath all of that. The show is violent. The show is very grounded, like so grounded that once again, if you didn't know you were watching something Batman related, you wouldn't even fucking know it was Batman related. So that's fun. Also, the rest of the cast are very good as well. But the one of the more interesting characters they introduced is Falcone's daughter. I think her name's Sophia. And the chemistry between him and Sophia and the church's kind of craziness is very interesting. Though, like I said, I struggle with this show. The only thing I struggle with this show, because I actually do think the show is a very damn good show. Honestly, I'd give it an 8.5, like straight up, no questions asked. It's a great show. It's directed greatly. It has great performances. I'm digging the show, and I can't wait for episode 2. My only problem I have, and this is when people are gonna jump on me, and I don't really give a fuck. Go in the comment section, say whatever stupid shit you gotta say. I still struggle with the justification of the show. Because at the end of the day, when you get right down to it, the show only exists to explain why by the time the Batman 2 comes out, why the Penguin is running everything in Gotham. But to me, you know, someone who's read about the Penguin, who's played the Arkham games with the Penguin, who's watched different animated shows with the Penguin, just watched one not that long ago with the Penguin. For someone like me who knows the Batman world, it feels like you're explaining something I didn't need to know. At the end of the Batman, it is pretty fucking clear what's about to happen. When the Gotham's in chaos and they're talking on the news like, we don't know what's gonna happen, and the Penguin's kind of looking out the window and he's like, you know, oh, I see my opportunity. I didn't need to know how he got there. You could have just had the Batman 2 and be like, the Penguin's running Gotham now. None of us would have questioned that. Would you have questioned it? Would you have really asked a question if when Batman 2 rolled around, Penguin was running Gotham? Would you really be like, man, damn, I wish they could have showed me all that? No. And the problem I have with it is, this is clearly something that Matt Reeves just figured he wouldn't have time to put in the Batman, obviously. I mean, it's fucking like, what's it gonna be, like 6 episodes, I think? But clearly, it's something that he couldn't put in the Batman, but he wanted to do it, so he made it a show. And I'm waiting till the end of it to completely pass judgment, but so far, after just one episode, it still bothers me in the back of my mind that I'm like, dude, this is the most unnecessary show. Like once again, people gonna jump on me, say Agatha or whatever. I don't give a fuck. To me, I'm just sitting there watching this in my brain. I'm in the back of my dome while I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm like, do I need to know all this shit to watch the Batman? I know Matt Reeves came out and said this will be one of the plot points in the movie, but I'm like, yo, I don't need to know how he got his power. I don't need to know all these people. Half of these people are gonna die, and he's gonna look. I know where this is going. I know where this is ending. I know where this is leading to. I know. We all know. There is no mystery to how this show is gonna end. There is no mystery to the direction it is going in. It is gonna end with Oswald Cobblepot probably being called Oswald Cobblepot and taking over. Because otherwise, what would be the point of the fucking show? And that thought in the back of my mind is the only thing that keeps me from really grabbing this show. Is I'm just like, this is a fucking DLC to a video game, dude. This is some good DLC to a video game. And I played some great DLCs, but did I need to play the DLC? I didn't have to play the DLC. And for some reason, when I'm watching this show, in the back of my dome, I can't help but think, this is a DLC for Batman 2. This is some DLC for Batman 2. But anyways, I still enjoyed the hell out of this show. Despite that back of the dome thought, I still enjoyed the hell out of this show. It's still an 8.5 for me. I love the performance from Colin Farrell. I can't wait to see how things progress, see how things work out with the kid. Maybe they'll shock me and he'll kill the kid or something. I don't know. Maybe they will surprise me, but I doubt it. Anywho, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Comment below.